Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Asalha Puja. Puja, commemoration and honouring, occasion for honouring. An occasion, a puja, an occasion. It's something where means we all come together for it. That's what makes it an occasion. It's a gathering. And a gathering around themes that we're probably familiar with. Virtue, meditation, discernment, understanding, ending of suffering. These are continual themes that have to be repeated again and again, and do get repeated again and again to keep bringing back something that is in a way deceptively simple, but it goes against the mainstream of the world. And it goes against it in a way that's able to fit within this world. It's quite an interesting kind of, it's not a direct antagonism, it's just a realignment around certain fundamental human needs, which the mainstream in its own way tries to fulfill, but doesn't do it very well. For example, here we live in harmony. That's not that usual. Here we're living in harmony without a lot of entertainment. That's not usual. We don't go out. We don't have parties and things. We stay here. Here we're going to stay here for this 3-month retreat. I'm really making a big effort to just stay through the silences, the events, the retreats, the comings and goings, the work processes, people coming, events and so forth. Just stay through that, let it pass through. And holding a certain qualities of stability, clarity, ethical supervision over our hearts and minds. So in this way we're kind of filtering out like a baleen whale as it cruises through the oceans, filters out the plankton. So we filter out understanding and skillful deeds out of the flow of what comes in through consciousness, which is unusual. Because by and large the world agenda just gulps whatever comes in, gulps it, or rejects it, doesn't filter it in a careful way in terms of supervision, ethical supervision. Is this for our welfare, long-term welfare, the welfare of people who come after me? Does it harm? Does it violate? Is it rapacious? Is it greedy? Just those kind of ongoing questions that everybody can ask. They're not belief systems, they're just questions to keep present in the mind. If you train like that, you're really training to educate. And that's the sort of common access that I find so attractive in the Buddha's teaching. He's saying, give me a person of reasonable intelligence, and I can tell they'll get this Dhamma quickly, because it's what a reasonable person of reasonable intelligence will be able to fathom by themselves. Get that, and then you take it step by step by step by step by step. It's the step by step. Yeah. Mm. Mm. A wheel that rolls onwards. You start with ethics. You realize, why don't people act ethically? Because they get swamped with greed or aversion. Their filters aren't very good. Their filters are clogged. They're not filtering. Or they're looking just for instant hits, instant reactions to things, not deep penetration of what's coming in. Just thrashing around on the surface of glitter and distaste. And here we know those, and yet you stay with that, and you realize that, yeah, if you stay with the glitter fades, distaste eases up, you become serene, unshakable, steady. And then you develop renunciation. That means you're not grabbing at that stream, you're filtering it. And what's really necessary in all this isn't all this kind of stuff which goes on and magnifies every year with more things to consume, more things to get involved with, more things to look at, more TV, more 60,000 channels and more more and more and more, endless, and yet, no satisfaction at the end, no final rest state of that's enough. That's enough. And here, that word, enough, we treasure that word. Thank you, I have enough. I have my 3 robes, that's enough. I have my meal for the day, that's enough, thank you. It's enough. I like that word. It's not arrogant, it's modest, but it says a lot. And we train like that. Place to live is enough, it's good enough. Yeah. The craving, which sometimes people just don't see it. It's so dazzled and so swimming in it, people don't actually see the craving as what it is, an inextinguishable fire that's burning. And we look at the results. It's right in your face, wildfires. Why? Because we couldn't restrain our senses. Had to have more. Now, that's what we get. This particular occasion, the Asalha, the occasion commemorates the Buddha having walked from his place of enlightenment to the deer park near Varanasi, meets his 5 former colleagues who were strivers seeking liberation, seeking moksha. They were seeking moksha through a kind of denial of the senses, fundamentally going against the senses. Not a penetration of them, but just a resistance to them. And then a sort of starvation, mortification thing. And moksha. They get out by that. And the Buddha himself had tried that. He said, no, it doesn't. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just another piece of ideology. You have to adopt it. It's not natural. It's something you adopt as a dogma, as a belief that will get you there. So no, I'm basing my Dhamma on something you don't have to adopt or believe. It's something that's it's right in your face already. Just open up and look at it, witness it. things change. They're moving. Everybody knows that. But we don't make much of it. With subject, this forms a subject to aging, sickness and death. Everybody knows that. You're not going to get out of that through asceticism. And the sense of this imposition of a kind of a brutality. So this is bad karma. You're acting in ways that are violent and abusive. That's not good. That's an addition. You're adding something. Couldn't you just actually let nature speak for itself? Listen clearly. Your own body, your own breathing, your own sense of where your conscience lies, where your goodwill lies. Could you listen to that? It's already there. Just listen more deeply. And by itself, it gives you a not denial of the senses, but a shifting back to be able to supervise what sense consciousness is bringing in. This is just a pleasant abiding. I teach pleasure. What is the pleasure? Pleasure of ethics means your mind and your heart are not contaminated by remorse and regret, by having to cover things up, by making enemies, by seeking. Your heart is not contaminated by revenge, bitterness. That means your heart is happy because of that. You have no enemies. You make no enemies. People may not like you, but you hold no malice. Your heart is happy because of that. It's free from the stain of ill will, brutality, callousness, indifference, self-obsession. It's concern for the welfare of others. It's not self-obsessed. It's happy because of that. Happiness of samadhi, meditation, where instead of the mind jumping around hither and thither and thither and thither, this and that, it's held still and steady, held in the body, and the body's energies naturally soothe it. We're not suppressing, just bringing your attention into the simple body that we have. Feeling the vitality of breathing in, breathing out, and feeling comfortable. Training to bring back to that steadily, kindly, the way that a parent would kindly take their child away from the sticky food and say, just sit here and have something calm and cooling to eat. To make you strong and healthy, and do it again and again, because the kid needs that kind of approach. But it's not brutal. It's caring, and the result is heart is happy. It doesn't run around. It's not crazy. It's not having its energies frying, running around in circles. And it's secure. As long as I live, I'll be breathing in and out. They taught the happiness of wisdom, of clarity. Mind is clear, unbiased, not favouring doctrines and opinions, not holding ludicrous views, clearly discerning where does suffering begin, where does stress begin, what causes it, what relinquishes it, what's our capacity to relinquish it, and how do we fulfill that capacity. We have that capacity. It's our duty to stop suffering. We have that capacity. If there wasn't like that, the Buddha wouldn't have taught it. This is release, vimutti, and it's comfortable, it's happy, and it's preceded by a happiness that's not giddy or intoxicated or borrowed, and happiness that's innate, blooms within us and never leaves us. The Buddha said, when you cultivate the skillful way, happiness follows you like your never departing shadow. And that's of course what people seek. But without training, they seek happiness through grabbing and holding and intoxicating and consuming and being better and having power and we call it borrowed, or not borrowed but stolen sometimes. Happiness, stealing things from the earth, aggrandizing huge amounts of money, power, stolen happiness, happiness that will leave them, must leave them, because it's only borrowed or stolen. And as the Buddha says, the rain could turn to gold and you would still not have enough. Gold, because it's borrowed. It's not yours. So it's important to, just keep filtering through. What is it that can feel that happiness? It's not sensory, but it's not refusing to notice a sense. It's just knowing how to operate them. We feel more assured, we feel more grounded, we feel more competent. We're not just passive, gobbling on it. We're that wisdom, that discernment of how to operate, to moderate the senses, gives the mind, it's agile, careful, wise. And that gives you the real sense of confidence. And, another thing that people seek is security, understandably. And we try to find security, I guess. Big story is security comes from healthy bank account. And probably that, to a degree, that's probably true, provided, of course, the currency doesn't crash, which it could do. Or the bank doesn't go bankrupt, which it could do. And has done, and people lose all their savings. Oh, what happened to that? Yeah. And so we then have possessions, houses, fine, great. House, provided, of course, it doesn't burn down, which it's happening now. People are having their houses burned down for wildfires. A nice, secure house. Well, that floods, wildfires. That wasn't secure, was it? Yeah. And relationships, it's great if you can have a secure relationship. A lot of them aren't. They go sour, twisted, don't really work on making it strong, reliable, harmonious. becomes two people trying to possess each other. And that's not the way, it's not going to work. Security comes from respect for each other, to be themselves. Oh, then now I know he or she will tell me the truth, and they will respect me. That's probably as secure as it's going to get. That's the security we have in Sangha relationships. Of course, it fails, well, we try and come back, we apologise, try again. Art seeks harmony, and relational harmony has security to it. Those are people who are going to help you and look after you when times are bad, and and the bank closes down, or they give you the sack, fire you from your job, or you get dementia, or you get this, that and the other, And this is what's going to help you. So this kind of security that is very worthwhile cultivating. Kalyanamitta. That's a cultivation. It's a good cultivation rather than possession, because to cultivate skillful relationship, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be just 1, 2, 3. It's going to continue, ongoing. Our words don't always come out right. Our gestures don't always come round right. Our remembering doesn't get out right. We're trying to work with a pretty, fragile system that's not quite right. And we are conditioning. So just trying to kind of live together is a practice. And so certainly sort of monastic communities practice with. We have different cultures, different ages, different languages. Amazing, really. And that's what is the real presentation to me is, I don't know how many nationalities we have here, but certainly English is not the majority. It's mostly non-English people. And that's great. Because there's a sense in which, you'd have to learn to listen and understand and, take a little bit more effort to explain things and understand and, cooperate, work on it. That's good work. Because it asks something of you to be more patient and more clear and more generous, and these are always good. And so doing a little bit of work for harmony rather than just grab and expect, and keep it going. This is practice. Definitely this is practice. But really the security, even this of course, we will all part. Beloved members of our community will pass away, or whatever, the way it goes. So and of course people come and go. The Rains Retreat is the period when everybody stays, otherwise people move. So it's a very odd kind of community. Because it is a community of diversity and of change. And yet, everybody works on harmony. That's what makes it a community. Not the identities within it, but the relational cultivation within it. That's what makes it a community. Somebody else comes, you work with them. Somebody leaves, okay, somebody else comes, you work with them. That's what makes it not just a club where where you just kind of get familiar with each other. And no, you have to keep learning a bit more. And that's beautiful work. And even, although the people come and go, although the misstandings and come and go, we don't always agree on everything, but the sense of respect, we're not going to argue and fight around differences, because the most important thing is each other, respect, living in harmony. And I think that's really encouraging, because the sense in which you don't have to agree with everything. You say, okay, I don't quite see it that way, but if that's what works for everybody else, well, we can go with that. And yet, there are certain even more stable principles which we try to keep referring back to, the ethical principles, the renunciation principles that are the core. And that's in a way our central theme. So it's not just any old person who do what they like, will try and work with it. No, it's people who are prepared to live with ethics and renunciation and with goodwill. Yeah, we can work together. Otherwise we can't work together. If you're not going to follow the same basic ground rules, we're just not going to work. You've got to have the sense of being able to restrain your impulses, collect your impulses, recognize there are other people, try to find harmony with them, that's and be prepared to let go of a few things. Then we can work with it. So it's a sort of, and you recognize that whatever the communities are, come and go, and whoever, you realize, well, the most important thing is you found a certain secure place in your heart where, yes, there are disagreements, but my heart keeps coming back to, I want to live in harmony. And I'm convinced that this is proper. I want to live modestly, and I'm convinced this is proper. I want to live ethically, and I'm absolutely convinced this is proper. This is when I know the heart knows that, I feel this will not leave me. It's not something I've been forced to believe. It's something I've tested, made mistakes on, tested time and time again. It always comes back to that. Wow. Okay. I don't know if that was a Deva or what it was agreeing to what I was saying. Certainly moved through. Yeah. So you've got a security there, because you know what you are. I mean, I know my personality is, whatever it is. And, my mannerisms, what they are, and I know, I have security, I know the heart is like this. And that stays with me. And I feel very, it was always there, but it needed to be tested and tried and proved again to really come forth. So it becomes stronger than my thinking mind and my desires and wishes. It becomes stronger than that, because it's one I rely upon. The rest of it, nice, but interesting, but there's security there. And the Buddha is just, the teachings and the practices are trying to take us to that. Not to impose it, but to test it for yourself. Where do you feel upright and steady? Not And it reminds us just this teaching of non-suffering, which again, when you look at the kind of mystical insights and things, non-suffering doesn't seem that sort of, cosmic really. Not straining, not suffering, but it's very accurate. Because when we really see ourselves straining for something, grasping for something, pushing for something, there's some strain there, some pressure there. It doesn't need to be there. And I'm doing it. Or something in me is doing that. Forcing, pushing, resisting, this stressing, pressure, straining, trying to be something, get somewhere, and just ease up and all that. We come back to this stability. So that sign of the stable is very significant. And so when the Buddha talked of his deliverance, he says it's unshakable, and it's kema, safe, stable. Something within, we could say, sense world moves around, there's filtering it, there's evaluating it, there's, assessing it, there's responsibility of it. And there's that which can do that responsibility. It's called citta, wise citta. Making the citta, the heart, wise. It stands away from consciousness, from sense consciousness, and supervises it. And we know that which can do that. Another thing that is a big, very big urge for human beings is to belong. It's a funny word, belong, because we may think, well, nothing really belongs to me. I'm sort of okay with that. What's really dismal is to feel you don't belong anywhere. You're an outcast, you don't fit, we don't like you here, we don't want you, you're weird, you're foreign, you're alien, you're too this, you're too that, you're not, and that sense of not belonging is very, very frightening and disorienting for people. To be an outcast is extremely painful. It's just, it's not a position, it's just that's how it is. And huge attempts we have to belong, we form clubs, nationalities, support football teams, we belong to this team, belong to this, we're motorcycle people, we're crochet club, whatever it is, knitting circle. We belong together. That's a very common thing. We belong to a political party, and people will actually die for what they feel they belong to. So it's a very powerful inclination. Somehow, and I see it as, although it's very confused in the world, because people belong to all kinds of crazy things. Well, me judging it, but you can belong to a group of people who don't want to belong. You have the non-conformist group who decided they're not going to belong. So, what I do, I'm going to do my hair in a way that nobody else does. I'm going to wear an earring in my nose that nobody else does. I'm going to look weird. I don't care. I'm going to be a non-conformist. So, and you can meet your other non-conformists and say, yeah, we don't conform, do we? No, we don't. We've dropped out. I used to do that when I was a teenager. I didn't conform. We had all groups of us non-conformists. And there were strict rules about if you started to look like you're conforming, you'd be out. you wore a tie or something, wore a suit and tie, you were definitely out of the club. So it's these, the different ways that human beings, what are they trying to do? I don't, it's just a very fundamental thing for people. Even those ascetics, groups of 5, they wanted to belong together. A group of 5 ascetics, a little band of them, all going there, let's do some mortifying together. Okay, who can mortify the best? We're mortifiers. We stand for mortification. That dropout Gautama, he flunked. We won't accept him because he left our group. He didn't conform to our mortifications. It's that strong, even to that level of seeming austerity, still the deep sense of, it makes us feel, and I sense it, some sense in which I would say, a slightly complicated phrase, but interactive responsibility. If you're with something, you can interact with it, you've got certain ground rules, you can interact with it along certain lines. This means something in you can meet something in other persons, do the same thing, you get a sense of, okay, we can flow, things are moving. On your own, you've just got your head to play with. Ideas in your head, writing, thinking, doing crossword puzzles, whatever, communicating on the phone. But the interactive responsibility means I can do something, I get a response, and in the response I get to feel, yeah, I'm part of this. I'm seen, somebody sees me, they recognise, yeah, we're together. And there's that sense in which it makes people feel more solid. And so this again was something the Buddha, he followed it. But this is what Sangha is about, which you sort of belong to. And it means you are responsible and interactive. It means, you decide to enter into a commonwealth. You're responsible, it will look after you, you look after it, you are seen, you can speak up, you can say your thing, you'll be heard, and you'll listen to others. You have your vote, and you may not win, but you can have your say. And other people can have their say, you may not agree with them, but they have that right. And people feel, yeah, okay, that's good enough. And okay, then he developed it to his final cultivation. That was the fourfold assembly. He felt that lay women, lay men, summoners, male and female summoners. That's a sense you've got something, because the wider the field of belonging is, the more strong it is, the more breakage in individuals can be compensated. If you've only got it all resting on one individual, it's not strong. If you're resting on 100 individuals, 2 or 3 go down, doesn't matter. We can make up for our individual defects, our blind spots, our biases, because the mutuality helps to hold it all steady. So it's a very skillful thing to generate. And this is, the Buddha felt this was his crowning accomplishment in terms of the conditioned realm. And then that congregation can keep expanding. You have an international congregation, people who are following the Buddha's way. Same core principles, but we have a sense of belonging, makes us all stronger. It means any of us get it wrong, yeah, okay, but the general theme of the Dhamma and the Vinaya continues. And that makes it a sense of, freedom from fear, freedom from isolation. You can settle in. You're okay. It's okay. Accept it. That's what it refers to. Upasampada. Doesn't actually mean ordination. It means admission. You enter into. You belong. You're part of it. It sees you. You're worthy. You're respected. 1 year, 1 day, 1 hour, you're respected through that. It calms a lot of the fear and the egotism of trying to win your way, win people over, be special, be known, be worthy, present something, make sure you're good enough so that you will be, make sure you look good enough, say good enough, smart, bright, strong. No, you don't need to do that. Just maintain ethics, responsibility, moderation. This is the guidelines. Something here settles down, leads back to stability again. So all these avenues turn back. They turn back to the heart. And so this is the Buddha said, in the result of all this, you have a whole presentation in the sensory world of people, of behaviors, of places, of responsibilities over duties, and it's all turning back to the same place: security, comfort, happiness in the heart. Yes, then you just go back to that place. Find that place. We're not nervous, we're not feeling intimidated, we are not pushing and bossy, we are not grabbing and seizing, we are not worried. Go back to that place. Go back to the place where you can trust other people rather than have to present something. Go back to that place. And it's not a person, it's not an idea, it's the place where all this other apparatus fades out. There's a kind of silence, stillness, steadiness. Step by step by step, this is where it takes you. Step by step by step. And every one of those steps you can examine, test, check it out for yourself. Every one of them you can test it. You can, sila, virtue, goodwill, simplicity, moderation, restraint, generosity, loving kindness, harmony, cooperation. Test every one of them out. Keep testing it till your heart really knows, yes, this is true. Work with the impatience, work with the frustration, work with the feelings of isolation and self-criticism, work with that. You're doing good work. If you're doing good work, if you're not trying to win something, you're doing good work. It can take you back to your security. Place we left behind because we got dazzled by the comings and goings of sensuality, consciousness, mind states. This returns you back. Security. So that's what I want to say for tonight. This is it's great to be here and have this chance, and every one of you can come whenever you can. Place is here for you. Please, while your life allows it, take the opportunity to receive the encouragement and the companionship of the Buddha Dhamma.